This is a sports crossover story. We rarely talk about sports on the CU podcast, but being that this has to do with video games as well, we're going to talk about it. Colin Kaepernick is a talented quarterback for the 49ers. He had a couple really good seasons a few years back.
Right.
Dropped off the face of the fucking earth for some reason and then couldn't play anymore. Like, his performance just was poor at that point. So he's fighting for his job in San Francisco. He said, I want to be traded, and they didn't trade him. I think, Chip Kelly is keeping him on for whatever. So who the fuck cares, right? Well, what happened was, it's been 2 games now in preseason.
3.
Oh, he's done in 3 games?
He sat for 2. They didn't notice he sat until he sat for the 3rd.
Okay, so preseason football to me is like practice. It's worthless. But the only thing that's come out of it this whole preseason, besides people getting injured because it's preseason, it's football, it's dangerous, is the fact that Colin Kaepernick has been sitting during the national anthem during preseason games, and now people are finally aware of it. And so people are like, what the fuck? He said, basically, it's to spotlight the injustices against blacks with the police shootings, Black Lives Matter. So people are split, what the hell, blah, 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 about it. Whether he's right or wrong, whether it's the wrong venue to do that. Other athletes that come out and support, other athletes that come out against it. It ain't going to go away this season. Real quick, not to get political, I think it's his right to do that. Whether or not you think it's stupid or not, it's his right to do that. I don't fucking care.
I think it's his right as well.
It's right to do it. I don't fucking care. Okay. But what's cool about, or not, is the fact that the Madden game is going to work this into the game somehow. Because in the Madden games, which is doing something which I didn't hear before, I don't know if it's the first year, but they're going to update the game throughout the season with new commentary for play-by-play and talking about the teams almost weekly, it sounds like. That's a really cool idea, to sort of reflect what's going on in the season with players and what's going on with the teams while you're playing the games that week.
I'm pretty sure they've done it before. I think it's interesting that they're doing it on something more political.
Well, for what the news is going to be is that they're going to only briefly mention it, like probably in passing.
Right. I don't expect them to get into it politically. Sure. I'm saying just the fact that they're even mentioning something more political is what's interesting to me.
Because even throwing it out there.
Yeah, I do believe they do update, and I think they have for a couple of years. I do believe they have updated minor commentary like that. I think it's interesting that they would even mention this.
Well, what could be interesting is this: the fact that. I don't think it's going to happen, but there's always a chance that a team could release someone. Remember, in football, there's no guaranteed contracts for the most part. There's a few people who get franchised, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, most contracts aren't guaranteed. They could release him, they could trade him, they could just not play him. And if you have to comment on why, well, he's not playing not because of injury, but maybe they released him, and this is why they released him.
Sure.
You don't know. I think they're setting up just in case to explain it, because on TV, they probably wouldn't get to it too much week to week on TV, but they'd have to mention, they're not playing Kaepernick. This is why. Because from what I hear, I'm not sure if his performance is getting that much better. It has been the past couple of years, but, this could be the sort of nail in the coffin, at least on the 49ers. He wanted out anyway. That could explain it. If he gets traded in week 5, this could be part of the reason. They got to explain it. So I just think it's interesting that I guess these guys get together. The 2 people commenting, no more Madden, unfortunately. You have Braden Godden and Charles Davis, who come together. I guess they're going to have them each week go in the studio and talk about what's going on with the season. The fact that Eli Manning still can't count to 10, but I love him. Whatever, stuff like that. And poor dumb Eli Manning. 2-time Super Bowl champ Eli Manning. Damn it. Patriot Slayer Eli Manning. Anyway. So anything else to add on this before we get into too political?
No.
I'm sure the comment section will be very clean.
Yeah, I'm sure it will too. I'm avoiding my more political thoughts on this.